Hello and welcome to Pathways 13 in Canberra. I'm here with Matt Salas from Monash University, and Matt is doing a presentation tomorrow, which is Friday, about an innovative way of making reasonable adjustment documents available throughout the university. Now, I said reasonable adjustment documents. Other institutions might call them alternative assessment arrangement documents or disability plans or support plans. But anyway, Matt, can you tell us a bit about this? Because it sounds really quite innovative and very efficient way of communicating the information.
Sure, Martin. We have traditionally relied on producing letters, learning access plans for students, which has been very time-consuming and hard for us to keep up to date with. When we heard about Moodle, the Moodle system, when the uni was using Moodle, we realised that it was taking data from the student database and feeding it into the learning management system that staff were using, particularly lecturers, and we figured that maybe we could piggyback on that system so that the reasonable adjustment information could also be fed from that student records database, because we have our own module in that database.
Excellent. And so could you explain the process that a teacher would have to go through? Say, for example, if I was a teacher who was taking Introduction to Sociology and I wanted to find out, who are the students in my class who have a reasonable adjustment document, what would I need to do?
Well, the teacher really just needs to open the Moodle page for that unit, scroll down the left information panel to reports, open that up, and the very top report is called Alternative Assessment Info, and in there they'll find a list of all the students who have consented for their information to be transmitted automatically. It'll show basically those students who are registered with us, what their alternative arrangements are for centralised exams, whether or not they're supported for flexibility in assignment deadlines, who their disability officer is, if they need to contact them for further information, and also a separate column with more faculty-specific information, for example, around timetabling or practicals or labs, this kind of thing.
Great. It sounds like an ideal way of working. How much of a difference has it made to the way that you work and the way that the system in general is working for students with disabilities?
It's made a huge difference to my work process. We introduced the system just after the beginning of semester one this year, and the number of letters that I've had to write has dropped dramatically. Normally at this time of the year I'd still have letters, a backlog of letters that I hadn't done, and just doing the most urgent ones. Yes, I'm basically on top of my workload, which is good. Also, Monash is a large, complex organisation, and it's not just teaching staff who need that information. There are, in different schools and faculties, administrative staff might be dealing with special consideration or alternative arrangements, so we've covered that angle by providing the same information through a Monash reporting system, which also taps into that database for administrative staff.
Great. It sounds really good. Thanks so much for sharing that information with us. And so if you're interested in finding out more, go along to Matt's presentation tomorrow. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Martin.